The PBA held its annual draft this Sunday and CJ Perez of the Lyceum Pirates emerged as the first overall pick. The draft was institutionalized only in 1985 by the Pro League, which had 6 teams when it opened its 11th season. Expansion team Shell Azodrin, the franchise that took over the legendary Crispa Redmanizers, which disbanded after the 1984 season, had first crack at the draft, and it selected the best available big man from the pool. He was also arguably one of the top big men from the amateurs. His name, Santiago Sonny Cabatu Jr. Cabatu is best remembered as one of the most rugged enforcers in the PBA in the 80s up until the 90s. He is also known as a career journeyman who played for 6 different teams in a career that ended in 1997 with the Purefoods Corned Beef Cowboys. But what is often relegated to irrelevance when fans recall Cabatu is that he started as a promising center in the amateur ranks. His basketball journey began in the northern part of the country, where he played for the University of Northern Philippines before transferring to the University of Baguio. It was while playing for the Cardinals that he was eventually scouted by coach Nick Jorge and invited to play in Manila. Cabatu proved to be a prized recruit as he made history in 1984 by becoming the first player to win back-to-back MVP awards in the Philippine Amateur Basketball League, PABL, when he helped Ask Marketing bag the championships in the second and third conferences. He continued his collegiate career with the Jaguars of the Philippine School of Business Administration, PSBA, while also playing in the amateur league for Masagana 99, Philson, and Presto. His performance in the Mukay and Mika led to him being called for national duty. Cabatu played for the RP team under coach Nat Canson in the 1982 Asian Games and for the national squad, which won the gold in the 1983 Singapore Southeast Asian Games. His stellar play in the amateur ranks did not go unnoticed as Shell Azodrin tabbed him to be their starting center in the team's maiden PBA season. Cabatu was one of the 6 rookies signed by Shell. The others were Leo Austria, Todoy Marquez, Aldo Perez, Minardo Juvenal, and Romeo Ang. This group of youngsters combined with Crispa recruits Philip Caesar, Bernie Fabiosa, and Bay Cristobal plus former Redmanizer Bugs Adernato, who moved from Great Taste. Known as the Bugbusters, Shell failed to make the semi-finals of the Open Conference and Reinforced Conference, but it made a splash in the All-Filipino when it reached the finals, where it bowed to Great Taste in 4 games. Shell's showing in the 1985 season was enough to help Adernato earn a spot in the mythical 5. Cabatu, however, failed to bag the Rookie of the Year award, which went to his teammate, Austria, who curiously was a 4th-round draft pick. Cabatu stayed with Shell until the 1987 season, but eventually lost his starting center spot to the imports and to Manny Victorino, who joined the squad in 1987. Cabatu moved to Presto in 1988, where he earned notoriety for being involved in a number of incidents during the season against bitter rivals Ginebra and Ajo Rum. Cabatu moved to the Purefoods franchise in 1989 before being left out of the team's protected list in 1990, allowing another new team, Pop Cola Diet Sarsi, to select him in the expansion draft. He played 2 seasons for the franchise before moving to crowd favorite Ginebra, where he spent his longest tenure in the pros. Unfortunately, his 4-year stint with Ginebra is generally considered the dark ages in the franchise's history. The squad finished with a 9-26 win-loss record for the entire 1993 season, 12-20 in 1994, and 5-25 in 1995, including a winless campaign in the Governor's Cup. Cabatu had the misfortune of being cut by the team prior to the start of the 1996 season, when Ginebra experienced a renaissance with the arrival of Marlu Aquino and Bal David. Cabatu never quite recaptured his glory days in the amateur ranks as he struggled in the PBA to keep pace with more skilled big men of the 80s era, like Ramon Fernandez, Abet Guidance, Manny Victorino, and Yoyoy Villamin, and the fleet-footed and more agile centers who came after them. But he did manage to make himself serviceable in his entire career. He put to good use his 205-pound frame and his awkward style to establish himself as a menace in the low block who was not afraid to bang bodies and throw a slight nudge and some elbows, inadvertently or otherwise, to make opposing bigs and imports think twice about camping in the shaded area. That he lasted 12 seasons in the PBA despite his limitations is a testament to the value that he brought to the 6 teams he suited up for.